Morning guys, welcome to the vlog. Today I'm gonna do probably like a short little vlog. It is Wednesday and we are like prepping for the storm. So we're prepping for Milton, even though Miami is not like in the direct path. So I really appreciate all of you guys who have been checking in on us, making sure that we're okay. Thankfully, again, like I always tell you with these storms, like anything can change literally from like hour to hour. It's looking like we're gonna be spared the worst. Obviously, we're praying for all the people in like the Tampa area, Sarasota. But even though we're not expected to get like the worst, we're still gonna see like some stormy weather. And here in Miami, you guys, like if you're Floridians, or maybe elsewhere too, but like here we could have like a random just rainy afternoon and the power can go out. So that's really my biggest concern for us, like for the storm, is tonight. It's supposed to hit tonight, like in the middle of the night, pretty much like Thursday AM is when it's supposed to be the worst. So there's a chance that depending on how things go, that we could lose power. So I'm trying to like not panic, and like my anxiety has been pretty okay. We have done a couple things around the house to like prepare for the storm. So I'm just gonna show you kind of what is going on here today, what is on our mind, what we've done so far. Maybe it helps someone down the road. I think I've actually done a couple videos like this before, like years ago when we were like in Homestead. I remember one year we had some hurricane scares. So if I can link them, maybe I'll try to go back and find them. But today here in Miami, today is Wednesday, like I said, again, they canceled schools for Miami-Dade. So Miami-Dade and like all the Catholic schools, they canceled school. But what is nice over here as a homeschool family is we were able to continue our lessons. So we still have to do a little bit of school today. The kids though have been kind of sad because like we were supposed to have some activities yesterday, like a park day that got canceled. So like the whole week has kind of been like are we gonna be able to do certain things, are we not? And really like the whole week got thrown out of whack. So obviously like if that's the worst of what we have to deal with is like ruined plans, like obviously that's a huge blessing, but that's all we have to worry about. But it has like thrown the whole week out of whack, and so that's kind of been just a little stressful with the kids, like not knowing, are we gonna be able to go to co-op on Friday? We're just doing the best that we can here to remain as normal as possible. So biggest concern, power. And here's what's so annoying, you guys. We had a generator when we were in Virginia. We brought it down here. It is still at the shop trying to be fixed, and the shop that we gave the generator to fix, it's been like months. And so like in essence, like we had a generator, but now if we do lose power, we don't have a generator. So that's kind of annoying, because if you guys are regulars here, then you guys know that we have like backstock food, which is good. But what isn't good is if we do happen to lose power, then the fridges and like the stuff in the freezer and the fridge, depending on how long we are without power, all that food can go bad. So that's, if I have to say like there's something that's like stressing me out, it's that. Obviously I'm glad that we would have food, we wouldn't starve, but the idea that like a lot of the food that we have in the freezer could go bad, that sucks. But with storms like this, since you don't know what's gonna happen, you don't know if you'll lose power, you don't know how long you could be without power, like there's so many unknown factors. So then you try to do that balance dance of like, you know, how much food do I buy, do I place a grocery order, but like not too much because then the food can go bad. Like it's like even just that part of like storm prep and stuff is annoying and kind of, you know, anxiety producing. So anyway, we've got our regular fridge over here. Let me show you what I did in the garage. So in the garage we have our other two, you know, fridge and freezer. We've got this freezer that's full of meat, so I don't even want to open that one right now. But this other like refrigerator and freezer over here, I took a bunch of water bottles and I froze them. So I had a couple like you know, things of water, like packages of water bottles. So I froze some, and worst case scenario, if, you know, the fridge loses power, then we can use these to like kind of serve as like, you know, to keep everything else cold. So frozen water bottles is good. Plus then like if I'm thirsty, I can like leave one out and then I have somewhat cold water, whatever. I think frozen water bottles are always a good idea. I could even essentially like put some of those and put them in a cooler and use that to keep some of the meat frozen. So I did that yesterday, and then I put a couple other ones just like in the fridge. I should actually put a couple more so that way we have some cold water. But we definitely have food, right? Like we have an extra, I have an extra gallon of milk, I have an extra dozen eggs in there, I've got yogurt, I have an extra loaf of bread here, so we should be okay with food. We have a lot of like snacks and chips and stuff, so my concern isn't really not having food, it's more so like losing power, and then do I have food that I can heat up when there's no power. So we do have like a little, it's called like a Kelly kettle. Hopefully we don't have to use it, but I think that should allow us to at least warm up something. Like I need to make a quick bowl of mac and cheese, I could use that. But the reality is, like, if you have never thought about what would happen with, like, if you don't have power, like, there's so many things that you, like, just forget or you take for granted. Like, why do we need water bottles? Well, because if I don't have power, this thing here in my refrigerator, it does not work. So if I go to try to get water, then I can't even get water from my regular refrigerator. So things like that you have to, like, try to be a step ahead. So actually, I'm gonna fill up. I have my Stanley. I have a couple, like, big things of water. That's something that I could do today to try to, like, make sure that I have, like, some of those, like, bigger containers, like the kids' water bottles, making sure that they're full of water. So that's something simple that I can do. If the storm was coming closer to us, so again, like, there's a lot of things that since this go round, like, we're not supposed to have, like, a direct hit. I'm not that concerned. But if the storm was gonna come closer, then I would maybe fill up my bathtub, like, line my bathtub. They sell, like, a lot of things that you can line the bathtub with, and then fill up the tub with water. That way, if you need water to bathe yourself, or you need water to whatever, you have, like, an extra source of water. I don't think I'm gonna need to do that this time. We're also not putting up shutters because, again, we're not supposed to get, like, a direct hit, but there have been other times in our life where we've had to put up shutters. That way there's nothing, like, coming and smacking our windows. Joe did spend some time yesterday in the backyard, though. Joe went and he covered the, we have, like, our patio furniture. He covered it. And then I had my plants. These plants are usually a little bit more over there, so I brought them in so that way they're not, I mean, maybe I have to, like, even bring them inside depending on how bad it gets. We put the umbrellas down because these umbrellas are normally standing up, and even in, like, a regular storm, they fall down. So, like, we don't want the wind having to, like, knock them over. So things like that. A lot of the stuff that was out, we put back in the in this thing, so that way they're not being thrown around. And again, depending on how bad things get, if we were closer to Tampa, none of this stuff would be left out. We would put that back inside. But look, it's so eerie. Again, the storm's not supposed to hit till tonight, but we're already starting to get, like, some little wind gusts like that. And the sky, I don't know, it's, like, so eerie out here because, like, you don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it's a little windy out there and you're just starting to feel it, but you start to, like I don't know, second guess, like, have I done enough stuff? Are we fine? Are we prepared? Joe's like, we're fine, which, by the way, Joe is working from home today, so that was another blessing, is that we have him here home, so he didn't have to worry about just, like, driving in bad weather. I am praying, you guys, I am praying so hard for the people that had to evacuate. And, like, I was watching on the news today that there were still people, like, in traffic, like, out on the road trying to get out of, like, the Tampa area. Because can you imagine you're evacuating and, like, you don't make it in time, and then you're on, like, you're on the road in the middle of a hurricane? Yeah, Joel already found, like, the patron saint of storms. Huh? Yeah, our patron saint of bad storms, and we've been praying. So I don't know, it's just, again, I'm pretty positive, or pretty, I don't know, optimistic that we should be spared the worst. But even still, like, I'm happy that we'll be spared the worst, but then somewhere else is getting it bad, so you're like, you have to pray for them too. Through all of this, we've also been thinking, like, we had to evacuate. We evacuated 6 years ago. I was pregnant with Riley, and it was Hurricane Irma, yeah. And I don't know if anybody else experienced that hurricane, but it was probably one of the scariest, yeah, probably one of the most stressful and scariest moments of my life that I can recall. Because, again, I was pregnant, we had to leave. Remember, we had Graham, babe? We had the cat. We evacuated with the cat too.
We had the litter box in the back, we had to let him out to go.
Yeah, we had the litter box in Joe's car or whatever. It was, yeah, it was an experience for sure. And we went all the way to Alabama where Joe had family. We stayed with his cousin, which was just the greatest blessing. It took us 28 hours to get from Miami to Alabama. It took forever. There was, like, no gas anywhere. It was horrible. It was like you're trying to evacuate, but then, like, the gas stations don't have gas. People were just stopped on the side of the road, or, like, you'd have to wait in line to get to the gas stations. It was just a mess and so stressful and not fun at all. And then once we got to Alabama, we were like, okay, we are safe, so that's good. But then the stress was we would be watching the news, and it's like, you know, it was looking like a pretty direct hit on our area, and it was like, I don't know, am I gonna have a house when I come back? And I remember my hormones were like going, because I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm not gonna have a house, and I'm gonna deliver this child, and we're not gonna have a house to come back to. And it was super stressful, super emotional. Thankfully, like, we really didn't experience it bad. What is that? Where is this?
I'm thinking it's 75.
That's in Broward?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh, that's so great. Joe's like showing me freaking videos of tornadoes. So like right now today in Broward, which is like a bit north of us, that there's a tornado, so that's fun. So yeah, like again, like even though you're supposed to be spared the worst, like there could be a tornado. There could be something like that where you just, unfortunately, you're in the path of something crazy like that. So yeah, now I have more anxiety. Thanks for that. Thanks, Joseph. Oh, thanks. This is Jackson's favorite stuffed animal. My emotional support raccoon. Thank you. But yeah, just know, like, if you've had to like experience that whole like evacuating and like being unsure about your home and stuff, like, I feel for you. Again, I've never had serious damage on a property, thank the Lord, but just the process, like, I've been through that, and it's not fun. It's not fun. So I really do feel for people that have had to go through that. My parents lived through Hurricane Andrew here in Miami, and I think I was like 2, and my sister was like just born. So my sister was like a baby, I believe, if I'm getting that right, but I know that I was like 2. because it was 92 and I was born in 90, so I was basically in diapers. And I know that they kind of like hid out in like that old house where I was, my first house ever with my parents. We hid out. I think they had like a playroom, like the garage was converted into a playroom, so it was like a room with no windows. And then they're like on their property, I know they had damage, like their whole fence was destroyed, like they got hit pretty hard. Like the house not so bad, but I know that they had serious like fence down and all of that. And then the whole Miami area was just like ruined, like Homestead area, I guess. I don't know exactly where it was, but that was the Category 5 catastrophic hurricane to Miami. Anyway, yeah, let's see if I can do some school with the kids, kind of keep something somewhat normal. Sean is taking his nap. And then there's a little bit of maybe, like, I have some eggs that I wanted to cook. This is so random, but if I lose power, right, I want to think of like, what can I have that's already kind of cooked? So that way, because like I can't do much with a raw egg, but maybe I can boil some eggs and then have them in the fridge, because we can eat some hard-boiled eggs. Sean likes hard-boiled eggs. I made sure that I had lots of pouches for Sean, because we're kind of limited if we lose power. So I made sure that we had some of these pouches for him, and we have a bunch of like bars and stuff for him, so that should be good. And the kids have a bunch of snacks too. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on any kind of preparedness that we do, and you guys can hang with us. I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like, like leading up to a storm like this. If the weather gets bad, I'll kind of show you that. But just know that I'm praying for you guys, and I hope that you all stay safe. We're also trying to like keep an eye on things, but then like I can't have this on all day. If not, the anxiety will be through the roof. So we'll like tune into the advisories. What is it? This is Weather Channel? Okay, we like took it off of local news, because then like the kids were watching like local news and they weren't just talking about weather. Isn't that crazy? Like you can't even watch like regular news with the kids around. Like I never thought much of the news, and I hardly ever watch like local channels. Like usually it's just like I watch YouTube, or I don't know, I tune into like Fox News or something. But I started watching local news like when storm season came in and stuff, and then like the things that they share on local news, and like the kids are listening, and then commercials of like crazy commercials. So I was like, okay, we can't watch that with the kids around, because now they're at an age where they understand this kind of stuff. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna go do school, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, the kids are actually playing Candyland so nicely together today, so I'm not even going to interrupt them right now. I'm just gonna let them do their thing. And that gives me some more time to do some things that I need to. So funny, that's literally my kids. Like either like one of the two extremes. Either they're doing that where I'm like, wow, you people are angel children playing so nicely together, or they're just fighting the whole day. So, I mean, if this is the kind of day we're gonna have, I will take it. But you really never know what you're gonna get. So what I just finished doing, something else that you can maybe do if you're hurricane prepping, I went around the house and I found every single portable phone charger that I could find. I'm sure Joe has some more like hidden somewhere, but these were ones that I could find. So I'm gonna try to charge these so that we have like a backup stash of, in case we need to, charge our phones or whatever. We have some of these that we can use. This thing is also a portable charger. Joe bought it recently. This thing is awesome. So it's from a company that he's bought like a bunch of charging like preparedness stuff from. But this is great. It actually sits here on the counter, and then like if we needed to like, plug our phone into it, we can just like take it, and it's just a giant battery pack. So that we have also, I was charging all of my cameras, all my batteries, just because, for work stuff. That way I have that. And then let's see how we charge some of these. Now there's like all these different cords to charge things with, so I have to make sure. Yeah, so this one is charging. Okay, so it looks like I can at least charge these two, and then I'll charge these in a little while. Okay, Joe pulled this out of the garage. I forgot we even had this. This is another, it's not a generator, but it's a battery pack. Yeah. So we can, once it's charged, then we can use that to power what? Like, anything. Like I can plug my computer in there and work if I needed to.
For dates.
Yeah. So this was from that Goal Zero company that we bought like a bunch of their stuff. What did they, is that the company of like the flashlights and stuff that we used to have? The lanterns? Yeah. Do we still have those lanterns? Yeah. So yeah, I totally forgot we even had this. So that makes me actually much happier since we don't have our generator. At least you see like it's got like outlets, so we could essentially, you know, plug stuff in there and it'll work. It has USB ports, so really I probably don't need those little chargers if I have this, but it's good to have, you know, some options. Another thing that I was working on yesterday, which I have to finish kind of today, is I was working on catching up on laundry, because again, thinking ahead, if we were to lose power, then I may not have access to my washing machine for, you know, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, whatever. Do I have enough clothes, or is everything in the hamper? So I had to do some of the kids' clothes, and then same thing, like even if I have enough clothes, then maybe I get, you know, behind on laundry if I have a couple days, or I mean, again, could be longer, but if I have a couple days without you know, washer dryer, can I do some of it, like can I front load some of the laundry and get it done before the storm? So that was something else that I was trying to get ahead of yesterday. So good news, Joe was able to go get our generator. They called us, right? They just called you and just said it was ready? And they said it was ready, so he went, he picked it up, which is great. So God forbid anything happens, we have our generator. Joe's out here, picked it up, got it in the back of his truck, and then he's got these like ramps to help him like bring down the generator. Are you gonna blow away? It's getting like super windy out. That worked out. Good job. Yeah, the clouds are moving really fast, guys. It is 7 o'clock. You can tell like the trees are swaying big time. It's getting very windy. Even Sean is liking the wind right now. Hi, Gojo. All right, guys. It is time to go inside. Yep. All right, good morning, guys. It is the next day, and I am so just grateful that like nothing happened to us last night. It looks like we were very much spared any kind of impact from the storm, which I am just forever grateful for, because I didn't need that. Last night, Joe and I were watching the news, and we were watching like some live streams and stuff. And so I know that there were places that did get hit. And so for those people, I hope that they're doing okay, because I know that in Florida, it's like, I don't know, over like 1 million people, I think, maybe even more, were without power. I don't know if, like, at least this morning there's more people with power, but whatever. A lot of people lost power. I know that there was some damage, but it was just crazy because we were watching the live stream, and there were so many people, like, you know, you can read comments, and there were so many people that were like, oh, this was nothing, not how it was advertised, whatever. But like, these people were like literally upset, like they were legit upset that it wasn't worse. And I was like, this is so weird and twisted and like very like childlike, I guess. Like Riley woke up this morning and she was kind of like, oh, there's no rain today. Like, oh man, I thought you told me there was gonna be rain. And I was like, okay, I can teach my child now, but she's 6, you know, like that we have to be grateful that there's actually not a storm. But like grown adults were upset that it wasn't worse. So all of that to say, I'm just grateful and feeling very blessed that we, like, there were some wind gusts at night, and you could tell like it was getting loud outside, like just from the trees moving around, but there wasn't any like damage on our property, and there weren't any more tornadoes. I think by like 9 o'clock at night, the tornado, I don't know, like the advisory or whatever, the tornado watch was done. So we were able to go to sleep and not have to like really freak out or worry that there was going to be a tornado. But yeah, if you guys were affected, because I was watching some people's stories, and I forget exactly where they were, some in Tampa, some in some other places up north in Florida, and some people were saying how scary the wind was. So again, if you were affected in any way, I hope you guys are doing okay. We'll continue to pray for you guys. Hopefully that is the end of Milton here, and we can just kind of get back to life, get back to, like, I don't know, like I was saying earlier in this vlog, I feel like this whole week was kind of on pause. So now we can get back to normal and pray that there's no other storms this season, because I think that we can just all agree, like, hurricane season needs to be done with. We need to get into just like holiday mode and like all the fun, good, happy things. So that's gonna be it for today's vlog. I just put Sean to nap. I'm gonna do school with the kids, and then tomorrow we have co-op. So just like normal things. So thanks for hanging out with us in this vlog. I hope that maybe some of the stuff that I shared earlier in the vlog of like how we kind of prepped, I know maybe it helps somebody. Like, I definitely felt more like just ready to take on the storm if something did happen. I felt much better, much more prepared once we had the generator, once we found that backup battery. So at least now we know where everything kind of is, and we have our generator back, and God forbid there is another storm this season, like, I'll have just more peace of mind that we'll be okay. So that is good. So I love you guys. I hope you guys are doing great. Thanks again for all the messages. I love your faces, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye guys.